Run.
Hey everyone, it's Retro Martin here, and it's time to look at another translated MegaDrive game, and this is The Hybrid Front, a turn-based strategy from 1994, which originally only came out in Japan and never got released anywhere else in the West. But this year, in June 2025, Nebulous Translations released a fan translation in English, finally allowing us to take part in this amazing game. Now, those of you who aren't familiar with it in any way, shape or form, or at least the game style, it's not a strategy RPG. What it is a turn-based strategy game. So think along your lines of real-time strategies like Command and Conquer and stuff like that, and then turn it into a turn-based version, such as like Civilization, or the Wars series, or Dyson Ryaku. Basically, the story spills out in the intro, which goes across several hundred years, just setting the backstory for it all, until eventually we end up in like the 25th century, where we are playing a group known as the Mules, who transport things around for different factions, and they come under fire from a mysterious enemy. Over a black box that one of the main characters, Sarira, has obtained from a wreckage. And then obviously the game kicks in with you trying to escape after you become under fire. Now the game itself, as I said, is a turn-based strategy game, so effectively you're on a grid-based system and you have set soldiers. That might change in later levels, but for the start you've got set soldiers and you get given your objectives at the start. Now, unlike an awful lot of games that only have one objective, this one has multiple where you can fulfill just one of them. Fans of Langrisser, or Warsong if you're in America, will be quite familiar with the original mission where you've got to escape and that's it, or you can stay and fight and lose. With this one you've got 3 objectives. So you can either beat all the enemies except for the commander, beat the enemy commander alone, and obviously anyone else that goes with him, or you can escape down to the southeast. So you've got a variety of different ways to play the mission. You will have allies that can help you out. Effectively, everything is color-coded, so you're in blue, enemies are in red, and allies are in yellow. However, you will get some allies that are on your side who are in blue. However, you don't control them. Certainly in the first couple of missions, that's the case. So you will have some generic units, but there's an awful lot of named characters. There is an experience point system, although it does tend to be a bit more hidden. There's an awful lot of numbers on the screen, and when they level up, they will get better. It does seem to follow the Fire Emblem way of doing things, where your older, more veteran characters seem to be good, but don't level up very much. And then the younger ones will level up and get better. There are a variety of different units. You start off with some armored personnel carriers and foot units. Later on, you'll get jets and other air units, as well as ship units as well. As soon as the 3rd mission, you'll start to see those air units. There's also an awful lot of story between each mission, so you will see large amounts of text before and after each mission, just pushing the story forward. You'll also get little stop cutscenes within the missions themselves, usually when allies join you or the enemy does something different. So that helps break up the action a little bit, gives it quite a nice narrative position as well. You also have to refuel and resupply your troops, as well as only having a certain amount of ammo on certain weapons. And you also have a turn limit imposed on you in the game, anything between 15 and 30, depending on the difficulty of the mission. So you get that impetus to basically get yourself moving and get on with the game, so you're not just left on a map for ages defending. I have noticed while playing that the enemy will sometimes not bother to attack you. Whether this is due to low HP or low ammo, I'm not really 100% sure, or whether they just go on survival instincts when they're, almost dead and therefore don't want to attack you for fear of dying, especially the enemy boss character on each stage, or commander if you will, does that quite a lot. In terms of the actual combat itself, when you attack, certain weapons won't allow you to attack after you've moved. Some have got range, some don't. You will get a little readout in the bottom corner which gives you the percentage of being able to hit, as well as any other bonus effects. And of course it does appear there is some terrain defense as well, because you will get defense percentages put in the bottom corner. Some weapons are going to be absolutely useless. There's something called a siege gun, I believe it is, that one of the characters, Ganoso, uses, and that weapon is utterly useless against the futuristic-looking hover bikes, but can be quite devastating to infantry. Similarly, some of the tanks, which are very high power, can be quite useless against ground troops if they use their anti-tank missiles. Even though it's an explosive device, it still doesn't seem to affect them. But you should be right at home. If you've played any other turn-based strategy games, you get a nice little animation between the two sets of enemies having a fight when you go into battle mode. But otherwise, it plays out quite similarly to any other one. However, the presentation in the Hybrid Front is quite nice. It does have a bit of a muted colour palette, but that suits its sort of futuristic, semi-desolate wasteland look that the game has. And it is a very enjoyable game. Now, the translation does come with a manual as well to read over, so there's plenty of information in there to get your mitts through. And of course, there is some excellent music on offer. Naofumi Hataya, well known for Sonic CD, Sonic 2, and Golden Axe 2 and 3 of all things, did the music for this game. So there's some really enjoyable tunes on offer as well. It's a real shame that this didn't come out in the West back in the day. I can't speak for America, but certainly in the UK, we quite like our strategy games. Games like Command and Conquer and things like that were really high up on the agenda in this country, so I think we would have eaten this one up. But then again, we didn't get games on the Mega CD like Dark Wizard, like the Americans did, which is very much a similar sort of thing. But yeah, definitely go give the Hybrid Front a try. It's an absolutely phenomenal game from SEGA, so much so that, like I said, they put it on the Wii Virtual Console and then on the MegaDrive Mini when those came out, and they were even saw fit to remix the main tune from the Hybrid Front for the MegaDrive Mini album as well. So yeah, go download the Hybrid Front and give it a try. And I hope you've enjoyed watching in the background while I've been talking about this fantastic game.